Okay, so one of the long-term assignments that you're going to be doing for this course is the Pedagogy Portfolio Literature Review. This module, in Module 1, what I was really hoping is that you can at least get one annotated bibliography completed for this project. The purpose of this project is really to get you to understand some of the instruction that you want to do or that you've been doing. So let's say you've been doing problem-based instruction for 5 years. Great. And if you're happy with it, that's great too. What I'd like for you to do then is choose an original study that you find and really learn about what's been found in the literature so that you can understand the background of why this might be effective and what components of it are effective and what could be some problems with problem-based instruction. Now, many of these things you probably have speculated already, but there may be some new things that you uncover by reading this literature. The other type of literature I'd like you to find is something that maybe you want to try and you haven't yet. Something maybe you read in the text and you never knew about and you might want to try it out and you want to see an original study to see what the pitfalls of it are and what the strengths of this instructional strategy are. And the last one is really any initiatives that your school or your district have been pushing through your professional development that maybe you want to learn a little bit more about. That's always a good thing to do is to learn, the research behind the methods that are being highlighted in your district. That again can put you ahead of the curve for your faculty and be able to be a teacher leader. So that's the purpose of this assignment, is to really have you become more knowledgeable about instructional methods that are contemporary and that you're using or that you may use in the future. So when you're looking at the directions here, it can be somewhat confusing, but I definitely want you to make sure that you're doing 6 different annotated bibliographies, which means you need to read 6 different original education studies, this part right here. Right? But within those 6 different studies, I'd like for you to really look at least 3 different instructional methods. So if you decide that your first study that you're going to look at is going to be problem-based instruction, then you still have 5 more papers, but you've already done 1 instructional method. So you could do 6 instructional methods, 1 per paper, but I'm only asking for at least 3. Okay? All right, now what you could do too is, so let's say it's whole group discussion. That is your instructional method, and maybe the first paper you get is whole group instruction. That's all, or excuse me, whole group discussion, and that's all it is really talking about. But then the next paper you find is Socratic seminar, but it's still whole group discussion. That's okay, as long as they've differentiated between what whole group is and what Socratic seminar is, and they seem to be 2 different things. That could be 2 different instructional methods. So don't get too held up in the weeds with the terminology and the semantics to these directions. The main thing is give me 3 different instructional methods, 6 original education studies. Okay, so now when you're looking in this, there are 3 main sections to this: the brief summary, the critical analysis, and then the personal statement or connection. Okay, the citation is simple. You're just finding a citation in APA format, 7th edition, and putting it up at the top of the piece of the annotated bibliography. And don't forget, if possible, please give me a workable link so I can get to the article quickly and easily. There are page suggestions here. I would like for you to stick to those, but if they go a little bit over, I'm not going to grade you off on that. But you'll notice here the brief summary, the analysis, and the connections. These are specifically mentioned in this part of the rubric. Okay? So you've got your critique, your summary, and your personal statement connection. They're all here. Okay? So understand that this is where you're going to get most of your grade. it's going to be counted 6 times, once for each annotated bibliography. I'm grading each in this area. And then what are your types of, are all of the articles appropriate, or are some of them not so appropriate? And how is your clarity, grammar across all articles? And then your APA citations across all. Okay? So always refer back to this. It will be due in the 5th module. So make sure you are working on this each week. Don't wait till the last one. And I wanted to show you a couple articles that some people have chosen in the past. So when we're thinking about problem-based instruction, if you just search Google, this is the type of stuff you're going to find. Now, is this research, original study? I don't see a methods section. I don't see findings. I see a lot of advice, and I see the word research, and maybe even they're going to talk about a certain study, but this is not the study written up. So this would not be an appropriate original study. So what you're looking for is when you search, and hopefully you're going to Google Scholar or Education Research Complete, which is in our Hofheimer library suite under the database for education. When you're looking at problem-based instruction, all these things may come up. Now remember, I wouldn't mind having it in a year that's close by, so maybe the past 10 years would be good. But when you're looking at these, one way that you can get to them is if they show up here, normally you can get a full text somehow. If you go to the Library for Education Research Complete, you can search for empirical studies and full text, and those are the only ones that'll come up. So that can be really great too. But when you're looking at these, most of these are going to be empirical and peer-reviewed. Okay? An easy way to get your citation is to click here. You'll find your APA citation, copy, paste. Make sure it's formatted correctly on your paper though, because sometimes this copy-paste doesn't work perfectly. So just check your OWL Purdue or your APA manual. Okay, so that's about it for the Pedagogy Portfolio Literature Review. Let's get to the next one, which is your unit study. Okay, so the next long-term assignment is that thematic standards-based content area unit plan. And really what this is, a really great unit. Something that you just want to, make amazing. Something that you're going to think really carefully through. You're going to put some of the different instructional methods that we talk about throughout the course in here. Maybe some of the things that you just read about in your pedagogy portfolio. All these types of things are coming together in one end of the semester wonderful unit that you're going to create. Okay, so this could be a plan that you have already and you want to make even better. This could be a plan that you are getting ready to do sometime in the future and you want to have a really awesome plan. You could partner with somebody in this class if you think that would work out well, or you could partner with somebody in your school. Any way you do it is fine as long as you are meeting the standards in the rubric and are following the directions. For this particular week, this module, what I'm hoping for is that you decide on a really great theme. And remember, a theme is not a topic. So you want to really differentiate and read about what I'm thinking about, what I'm wanting for a theme, okay? Try to bring in some interdisciplinary pieces to it. There should be some student-centered components or elements to this unit, and all those different things that we learn about, right? So this time we're going to think about a proficiency scale, possibly, some rubrics that are involved, how you are communicating the progression of student learning to the students, either through those proficiency scales or some other methodology that we read about in chapters 1 and 2. Okay, so for this one, that's what you're doing. You're thinking about that theme and then coming up with possible assessments and what are those goals? What are those learning goals? And remember where on that proficiency scale should be the target. Okay? So this week, of course, you're not turning anything in for either the pedagogy portfolio or this unit plan. The pedagogy portfolio will be turned in on Module 5, and then you'll have a check-in for this one in Module 4, and then you'll turn it in the last module, Module 7. Okay? All right, any questions on either of those, you can always email, but please read very carefully through each of the big instructional plans. They'll definitely be in the module that you turn them in, but hopefully you'll see the directions for each of those also in the long-term folder. Okay? All right, well, enjoy your module. Have fun with these. I really want you to jump into these assignments and have a great time. Be creative, be innovative. Use that research that you're reading to develop something really great. All right, good luck.